Hello everybody, welcome you all in this online edu classes for class 8 social science. Here I am with the video for chapter 3 of SPL, Why Do We Need a Parliament? This video is presented before you by Minakshi Pandey. Now let us see the learning objective of this video. When you will go through this video, you will have a brief understanding about Parliament. You will also understand and acknowledge the importance of people in decision making. You will also infer an idea that who are the representatives of people in the Parliament, and finally you will come to know about the role of the Parliament. Need of Parliament. When we talk about Parliament, the word Parliament is derived from the word parley, which means to discuss. Parliament is a lawmaking body. It consists of President, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha are the two major houses of the Parliament. The Rajya Sabha is also known as the upper house, and on 3rd of April 1952, the first meeting took place. For Lok Sabha or the lower house, the first sitting was held on 13th of May 1952. Now let us understand that why should people decide? In India, during the colonial rule, the Indian people faced grave danger when they tried to criticize the decisions of Britishers, even though they do not like the decisions that were being taken up by the Britishers. The freedom movement changed the situation. The people from various backgrounds, they joined the struggle, and they were inspired by the ideas of freedom, equality and participation in decision making. When we talk about this, in 1885, the Indian National Congress demanded that there be elected members in the legislature with the right to discuss and debate. The Government of India Act 1909 allowed the indirect elections to the Legislative Assembly. But these elections did not provide even the freedom to all the adults to cast their vote. On 15th of August 1947, India became independent. With the coming of independence, we became a citizen of free country. The government could not do what it felt like. It was the result of long-driven struggle in which people of each section participated. In free India, the government had to be sensitive to people's need and demand. These thoughts were made concrete in the Constitution of India that laid down the principle of universal adult franchise. Now let us know that who all are the people and their representatives. A democracy is the idea of consent. Thus, the desire, approval and participation of people becomes very important. It is the decision of the people that creates a democratic government and decides about its functioning. People would elect their representatives to the Parliament. One group from among these elected representatives forms the government. Now let us know about the role of the Parliament. When we talk about the role of the Parliament, Parliament basically have three roles. That is, to select the national government. This is done through the method of elections. The second work is the lawmaking. In lawmaking, the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, both the houses plays a very important role. And then the last and the very important work is to control, guide and inform the government. This is done through the various questionnaires that has been taken up during the very beginning of the Lok Sabha meetings. We will be learning about it in brief. The first function, to select the national government. Elections to the Parliament are held in the similar manner as they are held for the state legislature. The Lok Sabha is elected once every 5 years. The entire country is divided into numerous constituencies. As in the undermentioned picture, you can see that in each state that is divided on the basis of their size. One person from each constituency is elected as people's representative. The elected representatives belongs to different political parties. Once elected, these candidates become the member of parliament or the MPs. Let us now know about the houses in the parliament in brief, the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha. Let us see the functions of the Lok Sabha. There are altogether 543 elected and 2 nominated members in the Lok Sabha. These nominated members are basically the Anglo-Indians. The Lok Sabha constituencies you can see in the undermentioned map of our country. To form a government, the political party must have at least half the number, that is 272 or more. In the undermentioned picture, you can now see the orange color represents the majority party. The opposition in parliament is formed by all the political parties that oppose the majority party or coalition formed. We will be learning about the coalition party in the next slide. The largest among these parties is called as the opposition party. The Prime Minister of India is the leader of the ruling party in Lok Sabha. The Prime Minister selects few of the MPs of his political party as ministers to take the charge of various departments like health, education, defense, transportation, railways, etc. When we talk about the coalition government, let us understand the concept. Sometimes it is difficult for a political party to get in majority that is required to form a government. In such cases, they then join together with different political parties having the same or almost same values, and thus they form the government. Let us now know about the function of Rajya Sabha. The members of Rajya Sabha are the representatives of the state of India in the parliament. There are 233 elected members and 12 nominated members. The meetings are presided by the Vice President. Let us have a comparative study about the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha is known as the lower house or the non-permanent house, as every 5 years the Lok Sabha gets dissolved. The Rajya Sabha or the upper house is known as the permanent house. The period of Lok Sabha is 5 years and the period of Rajya Sabha is 6 years. The maximum strength in Lok Sabha is 552 members, but the maximum strength in Rajya Sabha is 250 members. Money bills can only be introduced in Lok Sabha, whereas Rajya Sabha has no say on money bills. Finally, the Speaker presides the meetings of the Lok Sabha, whereas the Vice President presides the meetings of the Rajya Sabha. Now let us know about the second function of the Parliament, that is to control, guide and inform the government. The Parliament while in session begins with the question hour. The question hour is an important mechanism through which the MPs can elicit information about the working of the government. During this period, the ministers answer questions sent in advance by the various MPs. Debates over the queries and replies help reveal flaws in the government's policies. The opposition party plays a critical role in the healthy functioning of a democracy. They highlight drawbacks in various policies and programs of the government and mobilize popular support for their own policies. The government equally gets the valuable feedback in the form of the questioning by the opposition. In this way, the Parliament acts to control, guide and inform the government. The MPs are representatives of the people, have a central role in controlling, guiding and informing the Parliament. This is a key aspect of the functioning of the Indian democracy. Now, let us know about the third action or the third role of the Parliament, that is the lawmaking. Lawmaking is a significant function of the Parliament. The Parliament can introduce new laws and change the old ones. A law is first introduced in the form of a bill. A bill is the draft of a proposed law. Finally, the votings are being done, and about this entire system we would be learning in the further lesson. Now, let us know that who are the people in the Parliament. Parliament now has more and more people from different backgrounds. The seats are reserved for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes as well, and the marginalized are also given adequate reservations. Some seats are reserved in Parliament for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. This has been done so that the MPs elected from these constituencies will be familiar with and can represent Dalit and Adivasi interests in Parliament. Similarly, it has more recently been suggested that there should be reservation of seats for women. This issue is still being debated. 60 years ago, only 4% of the members were women, and today it is just above 9%. This is a small share when you consider the fact that half the population of our country are the women. It is the issue of this kind that forced the country to ask certain difficult and often unresolved questions about whether our democratic system is representative enough. Why do we need Parliament? I hope you all are very clear with the concept now. With this, I would like to say thank you and happy learning.